Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country, where last time we finished off World 5, and today we will be beginning the final world, Chimp Caverns. It's been a long journey. Well, not as long as the other Donkey Kong Country games, I guess, but if you look at this overworld map here, we started down at the beach, we climbed up the mountain, and now we're kind of descending into the eyes of the Donkey Kong-shaped island. It's kind of funny how DK Island changes between games. Like, it's not anything like it was in Donkey Kong 64, but there's lots of games like that too, where, you know, the town changes between games and there's not really any kind of consistency. I've always thought that was kind of funny, but that's not even what the discussion today is going to be about. Chimp Caverns, the final world, is rather interesting. It only has 5 levels rather than 6, as we have become used to in Worlds 3, 4, and 5. It also doesn't introduce any new level themes, like, caves. You know, it's not like World 4 where you get ice levels, World 5 you get factory levels. All of the levels in this world are themes that have been introduced in previous worlds. Like, maybe we haven't seen a lot of them, but it's nothing, like, extremely new. That's not to mean that there aren't some gimmicks inside of each of the levels, though, that are going to be kind of tricky. So we'll deal with those as they come. But first up, we have Tanked Up Trouble. Now, it's more like completely 100% cheap and, you know, bonus games that aren't even fair. There's absolutely no indication of them even existing trouble, because the first thing you're actually supposed to do is somehow fall right down there. I don't know how I ever figured that out, and I remember I was just like, whoa, no, that's not even fair. So basically, the second that the platform starts going vertical, you have to somehow know to jump directly down the hole. I don't know how, but you're supposed to. So, I mean, there's that. And that's not even the only time that happens. It's really silly. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can talk about the actual gimmick of this level, which, as the name sort of implies, we need to collect these fuel tanks because the platform that we are standing on will gradually begin to run out of fuel. And, you know, by collecting those tanks, as you can tell, it's filling it back up. The dots underneath the word fuel indicate how many of the lights it will turn back on. So later on in the level, we're going to be getting some, you know, tricky situations where it's not going to fill up the fuel all of the way. And oh man, it's going to be super suspenseful. But overall, this level's not too bad. But see, as I was talking about, like, we've seen a rail-guided platform level already, except this time they're adding in the whole fuel gimmick, so it's a little bit different, but not completely different, I suppose. Also, this one right here, like, again, I don't understand how you're ever supposed to figure that out. It's interesting, though. You don't actually have to get that fuel tank to make it to this platform, but if you do, and you stand on it, the platform goes rogue and just, like, flies all over the place and allows you to get the on-guard token, which you totally don't need. But it's a really bizarre secret. It's just like, I always thought it was funny how it looks like, you know, the platform is staying on the rails, but then it just kind of breaks all the rules of physics, similar to these tires here that are kind of just floating in air. Get used to them, because, you know, this is the last time you're ever going to see the tires in this world, because they definitely were not as big of a part in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. Donkey Kong Country 2 had that one level in the Lost World where there was, like, the gigantic tires, but, I mean, it obviously wasn't the same. Okay, good. I thought for a second that we had kind of toasted ourselves, but you actually don't need that tire to get the fuel tank, which is kind of funny. So we got lucky there. Also, we got DK back, so we got our extra hit, which is pretty cool. Are there more bonus games to find in this level? I actually don't remember. I don't remember much about the bonus games in the final world, except for this level, just because of how cheap it was. I find it funny that I remember the cheap bonus games in levels like this, but not in ones like Orangutan Gang. I don't know. I really, really love the secret where you have to use Espresso to fly under the beginning. I'm actually really shocked I didn't remember that. I think it's just the fact that that level had 5 bonus rooms. It just completely threw me off. But anyway, I think we're getting closer to the end here. I could have totally ducked under that guy, but that's not the cool way to do it. Also, I don't think that's a bonus game. I think that's like a shortcut, where if you jump in that, you don't get the G, but it's like, we didn't even really need it. But we did it anyway, because that's how we do things in this let's play. I almost tried to bounce on that guy, but it would have totally killed me. I'm debating. I think I'm getting it confused with that other level we did. I don't think there's a secret if I go down to the right. I think that was in the other level. I hope so. We might have to replay this level. Do we? No, we don't. Wow, so it only had that one bonus game at the very beginning, but a very cheap bonus game at that. Manic Mincers is up next, and it is a cave level, but it's almost like if you took Poison Pond and mixed it with like a cave level in the first world, because we have a green kind of hue to the level, and we have those grinder things, which aren't exactly my best friend for anybody who watched the last part. But yeah, basically. And I had a train of thought, and then I remembered another train of thought that I wanted to start. So I'm actually... Okay, I'll do the whole bonus game train of thought. I really love Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. And I think part of the reason I liked them more than Donkey Kong Country 1, as I've mentioned before, is just the whole collectible aspects of it. I love collecting like the bonus tokens and all that. And I mean, despite the fact that the levels in this game, or the bonus levels, don't have tokens to collect, I mean, obviously you still do have the fun to get 101%, but I wasn't really a big fan, even as a kid, of how cryptic some of the bonus games were. Like, I never felt like in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3 that if you couldn't, like, when you had to find the bonus games, wow, really, if you set it down at TNT, it explodes? I actually didn't remember doing that. Like, there was usually always some kind of hint to where they were. There were obviously, like, a few DK coins in Donkey Kong Country 2 that were a little bit cheap. Man, can you not kill Krusha with Rambi? That doesn't seem right. Oh well. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that one of the holes here. But see, it's bonus games like the one in the last level that are completely cryptic, that I'm not really such a huge fan of those. Because, I mean, it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with investigative skills or, you know, figuring out the clues that the level might be trying to give you to find the secret. It's basically just jump down the hole and, you know, hope that you find the secret, even though there's totally no hint that it's there. And I'm not really a huge fan of that. Speaking of the other Donkey Kong Country games, though, I don't think I've ever really talked too much about the fact that Donkey Kong Country 1, as well as the other Donkey Kong Country games, were ported to, like, you know, a whole bunch of other consoles. All Donkey Kong Country games, 1, 2, and 3, were ported to the Game Boy Advance, which was pretty cool. But Donkey Kong Country 1 was actually also on the Game Boy Color. It's crazy to think they could take such an advanced game from the Super Nintendo, and even conceived like the idea of trying to port it to an 8-bit portable console. It's mad, but they did it, and it's not the worst port. It's obviously, I mean, considering it's on the Game Boy, you have to give it some credit. But see, that bonus game's dumb, especially when you have to deal with 3 of them at the same time. But one of the main reasons I want to bring that up is because in the Game Boy Color version of Donkey Kong Country 1, there is actually an extra level added to this world so that it also has 6, just like worlds 3, 4, 5, and 6. And it is called Necky Nutmare. You know, Necky's those, you know, the big vulture creatures that, you know, shoot nuts. It takes place in between levels 3 and 4 in this world, so it wouldn't even have been in this part. But it's kind of interesting that, you know, that they went out of their way to do that for the Game Boy Color version. I've always thought that was pretty cool. I actually haven't ever played through the Game Boy Color version, so I've never actually played that level myself. But I just think that's really cool that they did that. They did something similar with Donkey Kong Country 3 on the Game Boy Advance, where they added in an entirely new world, which is pretty darn neat. Also, if I place this down, I'm afraid that it's going to blow up again. Yeah, wow, that's really interesting. I never remembered TNT barrels doing that. That's kind of cool. Also, that's a really weird kind of side area right there. I don't even think that counts as actually, like, part of the bonus game percentage. Also, darn it, I think I needed to break something open with a barrel. I didn't even mean to go in here again, but I guess we might as well. Does the TNT come back? It does! Okay. Man, darn it. I'm trying not to blow up the TNT. I think we might need to blow up a wall with it. So, we're going to go back. Can I bounce up there? No, I cannot. Ugh. Through this cave one more time. But I think it is cool that in the remakes they added in extra little things like that. Yeah, with the Donkey Kong Country remakes, you were never just getting like a port of the Super Nintendo game. There were usually a few extra things added in. Can I break this? Yes, we can. Thank goodness that TNT barrel came back so many times. But anyway, we have this bonus game, which we have seen many times. I mean, there is that aspect to it too. Like, I mean, yeah, there's the like finding the bonus games, but they repeat a lot, so I mean, it's not always that exciting when you find the bonus game, unlike in Donkey Kong Country 2 or 3, where there was always that little bit of an additional challenge, which is pretty cool. Is that everything? Yes, it is! Manic Mincers is down. And we're just kind of destroying World 6 here. Already, you know, we haven't even done, hasn't even been 10 minutes, and we're already at the 3rd level, and what will probably be the final level of this video, Misty Mine, which again, it's a mine-themed level, which we saw introduced in World 2. But I don't believe we've actually seen since. Also, we have a TNT barrel here. I believe TNT barrels can blow up those artificial enemy creation, oil drums, which is kind of interesting. But let's see. I'm always afraid of, like, I could do that, but why would I even want a Rambi token? I mean, I guess I don't have any other use for it, so we might as well. Will we be getting an animal bonus game in this video? Hopefully not. But anyway, but yeah, overall, we're kind of just destroying World 6. Especially considering that the next part is only going to have 2 levels, but in the next part we will also be fighting the final boss. So that should make up for some of the time that, is going to be lost due to the fact that this world only has 5 levels. But again, I mean, I never felt like there was anything extremely difficult. Seriously? See, I don't know about that one. I don't know if that was hitbox shenanigans or if that was just me being silly, but hey, I guess the video will at least be like a couple of seconds longer now. But yeah, it always sucks when you die that close to a checkpoint. Also, you cannot just press left at the beginning of this level to instantly beat it. I have tried. Don't you worry. But yeah, so basically, it says the next part's going to have the credits and the final boss and all that. I guess it's kind of okay that it only is going to have 2 levels. It's like they knew that someday I would let's play this game, and that my formula would kind of fit that perfectly. But anyway, let's not die from snakes. I've always thought that snakes have had kind of a weird hitbox. I don't know. I guess I hope that people, haven't been annoyed by me talking about the hitboxes in this game throughout the Let's Play. But as someone who has obviously, played Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, especially, Let's Playing them before even Let's Playing the first Donkey Kong Country, this one, can we go down? Yes, we can. I knew there was a secret like that coming up. DK's hitbox definitely does feel weird. Compared to, Diddy's, and some of the enemies feel like they have weird hitboxes. Is it just me, or do other people notice that too, when they go back and play the first Donkey Kong Country after playing Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3? Let me know about that in the comments down below. Now, somebody said, yeah, wow, Espresso can just stand there and not even get hurt by claptraps. I did not know that, or if I did know that as a kid, it was something that I had totally forgotten, because who is actually just going to stand there and let themselves be hit? It wasn't exactly on my agenda for the day, so good to know. Good to know. But I don't think that Espresso is invulnerable to these guys. So, I mean, I guess Espresso gains a few bonus points and isn't as useless as once thought. But interesting. Interesting that they gave you us Espresso in this level. I mean, I don't think they were actually required for the thing. Okay, we missed the bonus game. We missed the bonus game. Somewhere. So we're going to have to go back and look for that. But we do have access to Funky's flights now, and that will take us over to Loopy Lights, but we're not going to be doing that until the next part, because we have one more bonus game to find. We have Misty Mine, and I'm sure that back as a kid, there was probably some kind of Pokemon reference made there. Oh man, it's mystery! It's mystery. No, it's not mystery. It's not the Mystery Shack. Gravity Falls, interesting ending, but we're not going to get into that today. Is there anything in this wall? No, there's not. Also, interesting. I destroyed that with a DK barrel. Not even, the TNT barrel. That would have been cool if you had to use one barrel to destroy the tank, and then another barrel to find the secret that was located behind the tank. Can I make this now? I guess we'll probably have to go off-screen. The good old Super Nintendo NES go off-screen and come back and reset everything trick. Thank goodness for lack in technology. Can we break this wall? Maybe. No, we cannot. Yeah, lots of enemies, and trying to carry around a barrel to potentially break open a wall with is not an easy thing when you're constantly being shot at. And that guy just killed himself by jumping down the hole. That is not good. But then, I mean, they're artificially created. Do artificially created creatures have feelings? I guess, and maybe in Donkey Kong World they do. I mean, I guess someday we'll have to figure that out in real life, because I don't believe we have artificially created creatures in real life yet. Maybe all we have is those like jerk seeds that don't produce more seeds after the crop grows, and capitalism just making more money and giving none of it back to us. Totally awesome. Wait, actually, are we about to get some lives here by bouncing on dudes? Yes, we did. That is actually a spot where you can bounce on consecutive enemies and collect 1-ups. That is really cool. And yeah, I actually did not know many places in this game where that was possible, but there is one. Also, someone pointed out one of them. I believe it's in the second forest level in World 3, where you hold on. Oh, we're probably supposed to break open this wall, and now that TNT barrel's not going to come back. And okay, I can get through here. Maybe if I go into that bonus game, and then when I come out, I will be able to get the TNT barrel back and try that. That sounds plausible. Can I make it up here? Yes, I can. But yeah, there is another one. I believe it's the third level of World 3, where you're supposed to hang onto a rope and dodge all of the vultures, but you can actually bounce on them instead, and then you get some extra lives from that. But you might as well just do the infinite live trick that I showed in the video anyway. Because, I mean, if you get 99 lives, it doesn't really matter where else, you know, you can pick up 1-ups, as long as you always have that go-to secret. Plus, I mean, it's like right at the beginning of a level, so... I mean, it's pretty easy to just pull off whenever you may need to. Okay, so let's dodge all of these dudes. Let's go over you. Down here, this has to be it. It just looks so obviously like a wall that could easily be broken. I don't want any of this. I don't even care. Let's see DK's failure face. Actually, that's not fair. It seems like Diddy always wins and then DK always loses. But I didn't even want the token anyway. Totally wasn't even a thing that was needed by thing. Also, let's beat the end of the level now without espresso. Let's not be completely cheap. Let's see if we can still pull this off. We can totally bounce on all of you dudes, though. I don't know if it's possible to actually rack up any lives in this area by doing that. Hopefully that was the final one, though. Can you do this? No, I was thinking maybe it would be like Mario 3, where the Goombas keep coming out of the pipe, and you can keep going back and, you know, getting more and more lives if you have the raccoon tail to kind of flutter down and stay up in the air. But nope, not even possible. With that said, I guess Misty Mine ended up taking a little bit of time there. I think I don't even know if I finished that thought where I said, you know, as a kid, you would have been, you know, people totally would have been making Pokemon references like, yeah, it's Misty from Pokemon, and she totally owns this mine. Maybe Bill's secret garden of Charmanders is also located somewhere nearby. I don't know, but next time, we are taking on the final 2 levels of World 6. We're going to be taking on the boss of World 6, and then it's the end of the game. Unfortunately, Donkey Kong Country 1, again, another reason why I definitely prefer 2 and 3, because it doesn't actually have any, like, post-game content. There's no Lost World or anything like that. So, I mean, that definitely took off a few points from Donkey Kong Country 1, but, I mean, obviously, it was the first one. You can't expect the first one in the series to be, like, gigantically massive, especially since they were already doing so many innovative things for that time that I guess they didn't feel like they needed to go completely beyond in the first of the series. But hey, it's still an awesome game, and I'm still so happy that so many of you have been, you know, tagging along for it, and I hope that you are looking forward to the grand finale. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and next time, the final part. So thanks, and see you later.